Oh. It's nice to see both Adam and McNutt here. Look at Adam actually be here on time, and I'm not here on time. My internet decided to die like literally 5 minutes beforehand, and I'm not happy about it. I was like, oh, and then I'll let everyone know on Discord, and then Discord was like, no. And then I tried to put data on my phone, and then there was no data. Because of course there wasn't. Of course it is. Of course it's down the day that I need to tell people. It's always that way. It's always, it breaks the moment you need it. And we love that about the internet. And about Discord. I'm glad that you're both here and I can adjust this on the fly. Because I feel like I need to be a bit bigger. There we go. I think that works there. Adam actually mod. Who knew that could happen? I said that with love, but everyone's dream to ban McNutt. And now I shall commence the actual debut stuff. Brooke, welcome in. I totally didn't have my internet die on me last minute and then panic for like 20 minutes. Don't worry. Streamlabs is being very overzealous. I'll have to turn it down a bit. I'll have to turn down its aggressiveness. No, you're going to hear a lot of paper rustling because I wrote a script for this. Because I was like, what if I panic and then forget how to read human words? And so if it comes off as scripted, that's because it is. It's the joy of writing things down beforehand. And I totally wasn't writing it like right up until 10 minutes before this was supposed to start. Hello and welcome to the debut stream of Shiny Hedgehog. I hope that everyone is having a good day. Thank you for opening the door to this flower shop. Yes, Discord is down. It's annoying. I'm glad that you made it anyway. It's nice to see Adam and McNutt and Brock here. And this is where I was going to write. I wrote, talk casually about things that happened today, and there's no way of integrating, like moving on to that casually. So we're just all going to awkwardly talk about some things that happened today. I went out for a walk earlier this morning just to like calm down a bit because I got a bit stressed, and then I saw a raven like jumping around in the field, and it was really big, and there was a cherry blossom tree that was flowering, and that's really early for cherry blossom here, and it was pretty and really pink. There was crocuses. The town next to where I live has like a big road, and on either side of the road is like spring bulbs planted, and the spring bulbs are planted in it, and in the spring, obviously spring, the they come out, and it makes the whole street look purple, and it's just pretty. And then when it gets to like May, there's a lot of like corn cornflowers and poppies and stuff that grow there, and it looks really pretty. But it also, it's like they put it in so they didn't have to mow it all the time for the grass, and so they could save money on that. But it ended up looking way nicer than what they said it was going to look like. So like everyone's happy, and people drive down that road like purposely to go look at it. And there was this really old guy who was walking down the street, walking his dog, and it was the tiniest little sausage dog you've ever seen, and it was barking super aggressively at everybody, and he was just like shouting at it to show, because it was trying to fight like a huge dog. Like, just imagine like a tiny little angry sausage dog trying to fight like a husky. It's just not interested in it at all. Angry sausage. Best sausage. I think all small dogs are just angry all the time because everything's bigger than them. Especially chihuahuas. Chihuahuas are just like constantly angry. And now we shall move on to the PowerPoint presentation. If I can remember how I did it. Is this the right scene? It is the right scene, but oh, there we go. It is showing up. But it also doesn't show my mouse, so now I can't see what I'm doing. Right, here we go. Don't you love it when your family shouts you from the other side of the house? Right. Back to the PowerPoint. Welcome to the Vtuber debut of Shiny Hedgehog. Welcome also to the Vtuber debut Meta, a PowerPoint presentation to introduce myself to everyone. Behold the presentation. Ooh, isn't it fancy? It took me forever to make this, so everyone better like and page 1. I've gone by the name of Raven on the internet for so long that it's very weird to be referred to as anything else, but I'm also pretty happy to go by Shiny. I mean, it makes sense. My pronouns are she, her for anybody who's interested in knowing. I may look very short in this reactive PNG body, but I'm actually 5'11" or 180 centimeters. I'm much smaller in my other form that you will learn about soon. And my horoscope is Taurus, the bull, and just like a bull, I'm pretty stubborn and very scary when angered, but luckily it takes a hell of a lot to get me angry. Even though my Twitch account is one that I made in 2013, I only really started being active here when an art YouTuber I liked moved here after deciding that it was better to do her packaging streams rather than YouTuber. For pretty much all of that time, I've gone with this low resolution image of a cheese and vegetable pie with garden peas for eyes as my PFP. It's pretty hard for a pie to take a selfie, alright? It's down to the whole not having arms thing. A not small number of people have asked me whether it was a photo of a monkey over the years. It's actually quite common for people to be like, isn't that a monkey? Or to be like, oh, it scared me when I saw it. But it's just a pie. A very low-res pie. My former life. And here is where I talk about my VTuber lore. Another meta. This is a shortened version of it. I was working on a video that I wanted to play during stream, but something's happened and I'm just postponing it for a while because I was too ambitious with the scale of it, because of course I was. Like, why make something why make something simple when you can make something incredibly intricate last minute the day before? Once upon a time, I was nothing more than a cheese and vegetable pie, a flavour that's frankly both very rare and underrated. I couldn't speak and I couldn't move, but after being left in front of a Twitch-like live stream for long enough, I regained my sentience and eventually developed this very basic human-shaped body with which I am talking to you now. For now, I'm trapped in a series of GIFs and reactive PNGs until I manage to gain enough of this mystical Twitch energy from VTubing to evolve like a Pokemon into a new form. That isn't to say that I can't also devolve back to my pie form when I'm running low on this strange magical energy. Like human become monkey, GIF return to low quality JPEG. So if you see me as a static image of a pie, it's a no mic kind of day. Likes. Now to talk about any of the following sections without just dumping info into your brains in an incredibly boring manner. Somehow. Fluffy things. All fluffy things are beautiful, from bunnies to fluffy blankets. I just really like the texture. I have a little fat unicorn keyring that I take with me everywhere as like a comfort item because stroking the fur that it has is like very soothing. It's also less conspicuous than carrying a huge squishmallow. Other brands are available everywhere. Pies. Does eating a pie when you are a pie count as cannibalism? Maybe that's for you to judge, but I'm too northern not to. From meat to vegetable to sweet, I love them all unless they are one of them casseroles with a pastry hat masquerading as a pie. And if I ever see something described as a deconstructed pie, well, I'm leaving. Art. Art is good. Other people's art is good. Public art is good. Art you only do for yourself is good. Art galleries are good. Art fairs are good. Art museums are good. Art therapy is good. Master level to beginner, it's all good. And I like looking at it with these human eyeballs that I have now attained. Going on walks. I might not have a full human body yet, as we can see by the fact that I literally only have a torso and a head at the moment. But even in pie form, I like going on walks. You get to do gentle exercise, learn more about the place that you live in, and find cool things and see weird events. Like the time I saw a family trying to fit a 3-seater leather sofa into the back of a Nissan Micra. It's also great for getting alone time and space to think about things. I used to walk to a local park often and write terrible fan fiction there. Also, I love hedgehogs, hence the name. Hedgehogs are very cute. Walking whilst eating a pie, now isn't that the dream? I think Discord's back up again. I mean, it's a true dream. I dislike many things. Oh, Helen, welcome in. Welcome to welcome to this very scuffed stream. If it's like I said, I'm gonna get to cilantro. Hello, Mario. You'll find out what it did to me. I think my decisions might need some explanation, and we'll start out of order because 3 of them are linked together. I really hate the taste of cilantro / coriander. In the great raffle of genes that is conception, I didn't get the ones that make this leaf taste good, so it just makes everything taste like that pink imperial leather soap that everyone's working class grandma uses. It's just nice that you're here. Like, it doesn't matter if you can't stay for the whole time. I'm just happy that you're here. It literally makes everything taste like soap. I hate it so much. We literally have a bowl with that soap in it under the sink in our bathroom. And once, when I was a kid, I ate some of it for some reason, or like I licked it, and like it's very similar taste. I also hate I very famously hate the colour yellow, mostly cool tones and neon shades like the one pictured. This is because it's physically painful for me to look at it, and it's an autism thing. Like, I'm hypersensitive to colours, and yellow is the worst for this. So if I know there's going to be a lot of yellow, I wear sunglasses. That's why, like, if you see me draw things, I very, very rarely use yellow, and it's usually like very pale yellow or like red yellow, orange yellow, not greeny yellow or neon. And to round out the sensory problems that come as a part of being on the autism spectrum, being touched and touching chalk. And people shouldn't. Oh, Cheddar. Welcome in. Thank you for coming. If why Adam? Why is your puke yellow? Puke is usually green or like orangey red or clear. Just have everyone thinking that like you're throwing up like bright yellow. like you just eat highlighters for life. A word of advice: don't trust anyone in general without their consent, but like especially don't do it to people who are autistic, because it's even more of a problem. Because for a lot of people, me included, being touched by people, even my family, is really overwhelming, and often it's something I experience as physical pain. Touching chalk also makes me want to throw up. The texture is just so bad. I literally get goosebumps even thinking about touching chalk. That's why I hate oil pastel as well, because it has a similar sensation when you touch it and use it. Abby, welcome in. Thank you for coming. Well, I mean, there's like an indigestion medicine that's literally just like chunks of chalk that you suck on that are like mint flavored. And it's like the liquid medicine that you can drink that has it in. I feel like there's a fruit flavoured one as well that they brought out, but I can't imagine that tastes any better. It would probably taste worse because like mint covers up a lot of damage. Games. Now for the fun thing. Games. I like a lot of games, and here are some of the more prominent ones. Oh, yeah, if there were strepsils or soothers, they're usually like at the checkout, and they're like in a little tube thing, and they look like hard candy slash boiled sweets, and they have like menthol in them for your throat. Adam, Pacify will never ever be owned by me. I will never look at it again. I will never interact with it again. Cheddar, I'm sorry. Streamlabs has been very aggressive. But I'm glad to hear you. Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher. I just really love farming and collecting based games in general, like Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley. And slimes. And the slimes in Slime Rancher are very cute. I love how you can combine them to make new ones. Like you can make them like joint up different new slime. My favourite slimes are puddle slime because obviously like who wouldn't love a puddle slime? They're just really cute and you can like they just make like the cutest sounds and they just like live on their own. And they have that little rubber duck that you can put in and it's so cute. But also crystal slimes, even though they do that exploding with crystals that hurt you thing. But they're very pretty. Minecraft, although I'm really interested in building and the farming part of it. I really like playing it, especially like when I'm really stressed out. I just make worlds where I dig big holes down to bedrock in creative mode whilst listening to podcasts about terrible people. Oh yes, and glass pyramids. That one greenhouse thing that I make every time. It's in creative mode that I do it. When I dig the big holes. It's just like, I don't know, I just listen to like podcasts about terrible people doing terrible things and make holes. Ted, the greenhouse is based off like a real one, a real Victorian one that was like abandoned. That's where I got like the design for the like entrance and exit bit and like the ribs on it. On my old computer, I had a world where I made a like more fancy one. Then we have Pets 5, which is an ancient PC game that's made by combining copies of Dogs 5 and Cats 5. And it came out for Windows 98. And to child me, it was amazing. You adopt cats and dogs, raise and train them, and breed them to make new puppies and kittens. And you wash them and you dress them up and you feed them, and there are mini games that you can play to unlock toys and different foods and a bubble machine, and the bubble machine is so incredibly loud, like it's just so loud. The publisher also made a game called Oddballs that came before Pets, and they made a game called Babies, which is also a favourite game of mine. And like Babies, like there just isn't a game like Babies anymore, and like there should be. So we should remake Babies. Flower. Flower's a beautiful and thought-provoking game that really showcases my shitness at flying and driving games. So like if I ever played it on stream, it would take forever. It would be the longest playthrough of Flower that humans have ever seen. Yes, a Hellblade, but like I've like I had a limited space, and these are like the top of the top. Like it was more like Babies is cool because it was a game that was like 3D, and like for me it was and like it was I don't know, I got it at a time when like even I only got a game like twice a year, um so like the when you pick a game and like it ended up being like 7 hours, you were like really upset because you want to replay it over and over again. Where like when I got a game that was more longer, it was like great because you're like, oh, I can play this for like 6 months and it'll be great and it'll still be fun. Bye, Ted. Have fun at work. Stay safe out there. Sims 2, Sims 3, the truly weird era of The Sims. The era that I miss. Some really weird things happen in Sims 2. I used to make Alphabet and Rags to Riches legacies that had so many generations the game was almost unplayable due to bugs. And I used to make custom content for Sims 2 back in the day when there was the website and the like online shop that you could upload your stuff to. It's what got me into digital art, even though it was mostly just recolouring hair textures in paint with a mouse, and it was a nightmare because it took you hours. Maze, a game with a very weird plot. and I think pretty much everyone here saw Adam play it, but like I love it so much. I think it perfectly describes my sense of humour. And the only other games that like I would add to that list to like help explain like what I find funny is Pony Island and the Book of Unwritten Tales 2. But I'd only recommend the latter one if you don't care about it having like not a great ending. No, Streamlabs. Streamlabs, calm down. I really need to change out how aggressive it is. It's literally on like the standard like saying, so I don't know why it'd be it going for people's necks right now. Default kill site. Everything. A game that Adam will never play because it's it has no ending and like no goal. You can do all caps, but I think it like has to be less than 10 letters. Stop. Streamlabs is sniping people. In the chat. It's alright. My internet made me like half an hour late. Because it was like, 5 minutes beforehand. Oh, you have a thing you want to do? Yeah, no. Everything is a game where animals roll around instead of walking, and you can be anything from a neutron star to a carbon atom, and it's interspersed with random thoughts. Some of them are like really philosophical and like deep, and some of them are just not in any way. And it's so interesting. And then there's random philosophy. Yeah, yes, you can be crab. Stop. You can be crab, and you can be lobster. You can be a black hole. You can be a square. You can be a bacteria. You can be an elephant that just rolls around. It's just fun to read all the messages and learn about the animals because as you collect them, there's like a place you could go and it tells you about the things that you've looked at. and then you just be different at things and wander around the universe. And that's my kind of game. You can also like dance with other creatures and like sing things to each other. The book page. I like a lot of books and book series, but I thought that I would just boil it down to the most influential to my life. We have Mortal Engines by Philip Reeves, and it was extremely badly done too by the 2018 movie that flopped harder than anything has ever flopped before. But I really love the character arc that Hester has in the books. It's one of those movies where they decided to make like one of the main characters has a really severe facial injury, and in the movie they made that into like the tiniest scar possible. It's set in a really interesting world where settlements roam around the surface of the planet in a post-apocalyptic future on robot legs and wheels, and the cities eat smaller ones and like shred them up and take their resources. The Lord of the Rings, obviously, by J.R. Tolkien. It's the daddy of modern fantasy, and there isn't any content in this genre, be it games, movies, other books, etc., that hasn't been influenced by some of it in some way. I first read it when I was 9, and I also wrote my first ever fan fiction because of it, though that's sadly been lost to history. The site I uploaded it to no longer exists, so RIP to the 21st, to early 21st century super specific fanfic website communities. And we have the Redwall series, which is by Brian Jakes, and it's about animals, anthropomorphic animals. There's an animated series that covers the first 2 books, and it's really beautiful and really well made, and it's also really hard to find anywhere. Like, you can find the movie where it's a condensed version, but there's like 3 seasons that are like 5 hours each, and they just like shove them into a like 1.5 hour movie, and it doesn't do it justice. And I love animals, and I love fantasy novels, and I love mysteries, and this series has all of that, from moles making feasts, badgers protecting the weak, hares wrecking shit, and brave mice, and terrifying snakes that give you nightmares as a child. There's a lot of good memories in this series, and a lot of books. I think there's more books in it than there is Terry Pratchett books, which is saying something because he has like 48 books. Terrifying nightmares. Memories. Well, there's this snake in it that is terrifying, and it slithers across the ground going Asmodeus, Asmodeus. And that's terrifying. It's terrifying. especially because they're all set in like the British countryside, so it's like the one snake we have that's venomous. So like it could actually come and get me. And we have The Monstrous Regiment by Terry Pratchett. Like I love loads of his books, but like that's one book that you can recommend to people who like don't look at like the 48 books that he has and are like, how do I even start this? Because it's a book that you don't have to have read any of the other books before to read. And I feel like it's a book that'll never be not relevant, and the characters are so alive, and the twists are like there's a twist in it that like is like really big. It's a really defining moment that always shocks people. So I find it really fun to like be there when people see that part. Like when I read it to Adam and McNutt, and Adam found out the twist and he was like, oh. The way that Terry Pratchett wrote is beautiful and funny and really painful all at the same time, because he's so good at like finding things in real life to parody that is just like amazing, like his view of the world. And I didn't write them on this thing because I literally didn't have space to put them on, but I also have to put The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation and Scum Villain Self-Saving System on this list because they're also amazing. They're both by the same author called Mo Shang Tongshu, who is a Chinese online novel writer. But both of these series have an online novel, physical novel, an English translation of the physical novel, audio drama, online comic, animated series, and the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation also has a live action called The Untamed. And she also has another book that I haven't read yet that's called Heaven Official's Blessing that has all those things, but is also getting a live action. But that's supposed to be like, even like every book that she's put out seems to get like better. So everyone's really excited for that. We must watch Untamed. I just can't throw a 50 episode drama at you that's about like Chinese magic. Because I would like be the amount of time I would have to like pause it and be like, hey, this means this, and like I know they've just shown us like 15 characters, but like you only really need to know 2 of them, and like everybody has 2 names except these people have 3 names. Because Chinese dramas are really good at like just throwing characters at you for like the first 3 episodes, and then you just learn it eventually when you get to the end who people are. It's a music slide. Everyone who's spoke to me for more than like 5 minutes knows that I like K-pop. I've been listening to it since 2008, which makes me feel ancient when people reference like Monster X as being like a big Sunday group. when I started, like the big Sunday group was like Dongbang Shinki. Like I got in before Dongbang Shinki broke up, so like I'm very old. But I like, just your casual like BTS obviously, but I've followed them since they were like since like their debut, when they were Bangtan. I used to like BAP who've broken up because they had a terrible company. 2PM. The first group that I ever saw was Big Bang, and apparently they're coming back soon. Adam trying to make references makes me, I find hilarious. Mamamoo, IU, many and many more. Like I'm multi-fan to the point where other multi-fans are like, are you okay? It's quite an issue. Retrowave, it's like existing in a HD 1980s game. I'll listen to it when I need to concentrate on things. You did hear Mamamoo. Mamamoo, Mamamoo. Everybody loves Hwasa out from Mamamoo, but yes. I love how their light stick is a radish. Star has real references. But my favourite BTS song is called Whalian 52, which is about a whale that sings at a hertz that no other whale can hear, and it's the only one that we've heard sing like that low. So nobody knows what type of whale it is because it's never been seen. So Whalian is like a whale plus alien. And the lyrics are very deep. Ambient landscapes. This is like where you search on YouTube and you find like Mirkwood Forest ambience and you just listen to it to go to sleep. And sometimes to get work done, but usually to go to sleep. I like a lot of like traditional songs because they tend to be like extremely long and have like weird stories. Bye Mario, have a safe and fun time wherever you're going. I'll see you later. There's this song, I think it's Scottish, it's called Binori, or it's also called Two Sisters, which is about a sister murdering her younger sister because she likes the guy that likes her. And then a harper comes after finding her drowned body at a watermill, and then he somehow makes a harp out of her bone and then takes the harp to the castle to play it. And then when he's playing the harp, it starts singing about how it was murdered. And then it turns out the people like at the castle are her family, and then it sings about how her sister drowned her, and then everyone turns to look at the sister. So we love just like how weird those stories are. just quality content from medieval times. Comedy songs. If anyone's heard Bill Bailey, he makes some of like the funniest songs, but he's also like, he's a comedian, but also extremely good at music. Like, he could have been in he can play like literally any instrument. Like, one of my favorite bits that he has is that he pulls out a guitar that's made out of a Bible and then proceeds to sing a country song. But it's Bill Bailey the comedian and not the jazz singer, because there's a jazz singer who's also called Bill Bailey. Metal. I like metal. I've always liked metal. And my favourite album at the moment is Disguised by Motionless in White, because it has some like cool tunes. Diggy Diggy Hole is a classic, but it's also a meme. But I'm trying to be deep and philosophical here. Motionless in White has some really good songs and some really good albums. So like, usually what happens is I listen to K-pop and then I get like, oh, I've listened to too much pop/rap music. Now must listen to metal. And then I get too much of that and I'm like, and now back to K-pop. I also watch a lot of K-dramas and will talk about them endlessly if anyone provokes me into talking about them. Ideas. These are some vague ideas I have for future things. I'd also like to do like crafting content, like knitting or crochet or sewing or drawing traditionally in the future. Like, if I get a webcam, I really want to do a pie tier list. I want to play some games like Minecraft and stuff. I might do a stream where I make a song and you can see how terrible my music making is. Yes, a pie tier list. From the worst pie to the best pie. And I also like started making animations, and I really want to go back and finish. Well, I'm going to abandon that rotoscope, but I want to try doing rotoscope again, because rotoscope is really fun. I literally said, I was talking to Adam about making the pie tier list, and I was like, pumpkin has to be F tier for me, mainly because one, I'm allergic to it, and secondly, I can't imagine what it tastes like. Yeah, I'm allergic to latex, and pumpkin has latex in it because it's a gourd. So like melons also do. So I have to be like careful when I eat melon that I don't touch like the skin part, or the part that, like where the fruit like transitions the skin, because it has latex in it. And I'm allergic to papaya because that has latex in it. And no, latex is made from natural fibers. And recently I found out that I'm allergic to black bin bags, and apparently that they don't have any latex in it, but loads of people who have latex allergies are allergic to black bin bags. So that's just fun times. And like, I'm not like horrifically allergic to it, but every time I get exposed to it, it gets worse. So we don't want to be doing that. Hey, Ellie, welcome in. I'm happy to see you. And yes, the strategy for not getting nerfed by Streamlabs is to scream with lowercase letters. Just scream with lowercase letters. So like, I will be playing games and stuff, but mostly I'm going to be doing art things. I hope you're having a good day at work, Ellie. Goals! This year I'd like to actually finish editing my NaNoWriMo novel. NaNoWriMo's an event in November where you write a novel in a month. And I finished it last year, and I have not touched it since. And it is in an extreme trash state where it needs so much work. So every time I look at it, it just gets. It needs so much work that like every time I look at it, I'm like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I've only done the first two episodes, first two chapters, and it has like 105. So like, it's gonna take forever. I feel like NaNoWriMo is the only time of year when I can write things. Because I'm like, I just have to write. There's no other choice but to write this thing. And the rest of the year, I don't do anything. And then every NaNoWriMo, I'm like, and then here is a whole new story. Go on the trash pile with the other stories. I want to make some cute printable things, like bookmarks and notepaper and like envelopes. There's probably some other cute printable items that you could use, but I have no idea what I'm doing with that, so that's going to be fun. The sentient pie merch will come when I can actually draw a pie without hating it. Because that was the big problem with I was gonna make a video that came before this stream to show, but I hate how it looks, so I have to redraw everything. But that's what happens when you start drawing all the frames for it the day before. I also want to do a sketchbook tour, even though I mostly draw on loose leaf paper. and have just like thousands of pages, and they're all just shoved everywhere. Ellie's more of a cutie. But I think it's always fun to like look at old things, and it would be interesting. As you can see, look at all my trash art from 2015. And I want to actually get to the end and fight the dragon in Minecraft, because I've never been there on my own in survival and done it, because I get easily distracted. It's a good thing Mario's not here to hear this, because like I want to draw an oracle deck, which is, for people who don't know, it's kind of like tarot cards, but it's a deck that's a lot smaller, because drawing a whole tarot deck is a huge undertaking. But I have some ideas that I wrote down, I think in 2020, for making one out of native trees to the UK that have meaning in Celtic religion. Like ash trees are where men came from, apparently, I think. No, women. I think it's oak trees that where men came from. Or yeah, in some it's men came from one tree and women came from another tree. But in some beliefs, human beings hatched out of 2 red eggs on an ash tree, and that's why we dye eggs at Easter. We love crazy. Well, I say crazy. It's not weirder than any other religion, but like I just like how weird like Celtic beliefs are. Like there's just like one god who just has like a huge cauldron that like has soup in it that he feeds people. Like and obviously like I'd like to get a better audio setup, because this one is cursed to a level that I don't think like everybody understands. One day I will take a picture of it and show you like just like how cursed it is. And obviously I have bigger goals that I would like to place further out in the future, like hosting a charity stream, or maybe making a podcast, and the goal of many VTubers to somehow eventually evolve into a live 2D body. And if for people who don't know what that is, a live 2D body is just like a more interactive, fancier version that has more like moving parts and can react to like your actual facial expression, and has because even though this body has multiple emotions that I'll show you later, it doesn't, it won't ever be able to be that expressive. So one day I hope to improve my drawing people ability, so that I can draw all the parts for it myself and then pay for someone to rig it for me, because I've seen how you rig on Live 2D and it is a literal nightmare. And like, I'd like to read like out of copyright books, like Dracula or like Sherlock Holmes on stream. I want to do like a little, like, I think a really cool idea for like hitting affiliate would be to make a blanket out of squares that I crocheted from subs, to play AI Dungeon, because AI Dungeon is very, very weird. And maybe play the keyboard at some time and bore you about K-dramas. And I added this section not because I don't think like anybody here would do any of this, or that you don't know how to behave on Twitch, or that like literally everybody here knows how to best interact with me already, but I just wanted to have something that I can clip and post later that just has how I want everybody to behave around me on it, so that I have it all thingied from the beginning, like how I want the community to be, and like how we're gonna interact with each other. The first one is be polite. Please treat each other with kindness and respect me and the mods. Apart from Streamlabs, you can be annoyed at Streamlabs. Sexual comments are a no-no. They make me uncomfortable, even if they aren't aimed at me. So don't do it. Go somewhere else to do that. You can swear here though. Like, I'm not. It's not a PG stream. No spam, no self-promo. It's pretty obvious Twitch chat etiquette. And remember that chat is public, and therefore you should be careful about how personally identifying the information you put out there is. And I really appreciate anyone that would ever be inspired to make clips, but do your best to make sure that they're not taken out of context, because I've seen a lot of problems with that lately, especially in the Vtuber like sphere. There's been a lot of issues lately in that regard. And if in the future I might do no mic streams, and like I'd like people to be understanding of like, if I'm doing a no mic stream, it means that like I just don't have the energy to talk, and like I might type in chat, but like I'm not gonna like start off a no mic and then it become like a talking stream, because it's something that I would do like if I'm overstimulated or having like problems with my mental health. And to make it like super obvious that that stream is going to be that type of stream, I've decided that I'm going to make a PNG of the pie form of my character, and have that on stream instead of the VTube model, so that people can really easily tell that that's what's going on. I know that these times, especially the Tuesday time, it's probably not very accessible for the US and Canada, especially, like I said, like the Tuesday one. But I wanted to set days and times where I don't have other responsibilities, and where I know that I'm not going to like be asleep and miss it. And it's also not so late that I'm going to be getting really tired before the end of it, and you have to deal with like extreme low energy Raven. But for now, at least, for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be streaming Tuesdays and Saturdays 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. GMT, and which is 2 or 4 p.m. EST. Though I might change in the future, I don't know. It just depends on how I feel and if I have to like do things at different days. Like if therapy changes what day it is, or I have to go to appointments or anything. All of the overlays, the sound, my model, and this PowerPoint were all made by me. It's why it's taken so long to get to this point, because I started making things for it in November last year. And it's been a lot. So many things that corrupted, died, so many files that disappeared, so many fights with the program I use for my model. The fight I have with my drawing tablet, where I can never find a pen for it, even though I have 3 pens for it, when the cable disappears, when my computer won't pick it up because Microsoft has decided to do a Windows update and deleted the driver. It's never easy. Thank you for attending this formal presentation. I want to thank everyone for coming and listening to me introduce myself in this very weirdly formal way. Haha, we are back on this screen. I had a really sore throat when I woke up this morning, so I didn't think it was going to happen. and like half an hour before I was supposed to be doing this, I opened OBS and I was like, oh, I'll just run through everything, make sure that the audio's fine, make sure the everything is working. And then I realised I didn't have the audio input working, so I could have done this like and not had any audio. And then my internet died like 5 minutes before I was supposed to start, so that made me half an hour late. Does anybody have any questions? True, very powerful debut. This is the part, if you were at a meeting that were like, and now I would like to open the floor to questions from the audience. Adam, Uno reverse. But while we're here, I want to show you my body's many faces. I have emotions. I have fancy emotions. We have normal face. We have cry face. You can bully Streamlabs until I fix it. We have angry face. Very angry face. This is me to Streamlabs. Streamlabs, calm down. Streamlabs, what are you doing, Streamlabs? Why are you like this? And then we have new red face. Look how crazy the eyes are. I totally didn't do this in like a very short period of time at all. I totally put high levels of effort into this. I just don't have a hotkey yet, well, I need to find a key on my keyboard that isn't used by either the drawing program or the there we go. Back to ordinary face. I want to thank everybody that came today, everybody that for some reason was following me before stream, like a weirdo. There's people who started following me in like 2020 for no reason, and I find that very odd, but I'm very grateful. I had like 20 people following me before I ever streamed. It was very weird. I want to thank Lucas, who followed me during a test stream. I think Ellie also followed me during a test stream, and Cheddar, and Abby, and Helen, and Star, and Adam, and Mario, and McNutt, and Vandy followed me. Lucas is the cutest of cuties. I want to thank Adam for technical support and for holding my hand during the first 2 streams that I did. Everybody who gave me good wishes before streaming, especially everybody in the D&D group, and Star for being good emotional support, and Mario for being Mario. Mario was very good emotional support, and during 2020 and 2019. You've wanted me to stream since you met me in 2019, Adam. And I resisted for the longest possible time. I think I'm like the person who resisted the longest so far. That is the end of the script that I made. That I totally planned and didn't write today in 2 hours before stream. Because I'm prepared. So, thank you, Han. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting at the very least. And when I hit affiliate, we get the joy of channel redeems. And I have some cool channel redeems that channel point redeems that I think would be cool. There's a spin the wheel costume option in the works. So there's some like cool costume options that I've been making, but I'm always happy to find out what people would like or think would be cool, or like we can find things that we can make references to from stuff that happens. I think it would be cool. And I also have I'm going to have a writing prompts redeem, where you get to redeem a random writing prompt, because I have a big box of them that I made for an Instagram that I have. Well, and this is where we say goodbye for today. I will be back on Saturday at 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST. And I think we'll probably be drawing. It depends on whether Critter plays nice with me or not, but that's when we'll see each other again. I mean, obviously in Adam's stream, but also then. So you tell him about the ending. Bye.